Welcome to Generation Dragons episode 63. I almost said 36, but that would be the past, and we are now in the future. Steve, how are you?
Good to see you, man. As always, cheers.
Cheers. Ding, ding.
Dink. Yeah. God, this is some sour shit. This is very sour. I don't know what my wife bought me, but anyway.
And this one is very, you can't see, it's too whitewashed. Delicious. Can only get it out east in the old Atlantic Canada.
You'll have to save one for me and I'll come by. If there's any left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a half pack left. Six beers, Steve. You better come quick.
Yeah, man. So we get right into it.
Everyone, thanks for tuning in as we have our beer talk today. No, Steve and I, we appreciate you guys tuning in today and all the views. We really appreciate all the views from a couple of videos back. Thank you.
And the comments, love it.
And the comments, appreciate it. Keep them coming. So yeah, today Steve and I are gonna go quick and easy, and
that's what
we're gonna talk top 5 PlayStation 1s. So PSOne games.
PS1, baby.
I say games. I think games, really, I mean franchises. But yeah, this is just, off the top of our heads. Steve, go ahead. You want to kick off the first one you could think of?
So I think the best franchise, or one of the top ones anyway, the old PS1 or PSX, as people call it, would be Resident Evil.
The most intense PlayStation games ever. Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil, the director's cut.
I mean, the series is still kicking off. It's on multiple platforms, but it all started way back on the PlayStation 1. And one of the first games, like I said in a couple videos ago, that actually made me jump. So my first choice, Resident Evil, baby. What about you?
Right. Yeah, right. Nice. I mean, for me, something that didn't survive past the PlayStation 1, but it's definitely near and dear to my heart, is Cool Borders.
Pain is just part of the job. I got this pulling a 360 stalefish. I got this doing a 900 nose grab. Got this on a backflip mute in the pipe. And this one I got. Whoa, that could have hurt.
Back in the day, and in the mid to late 90s, when extreme sports was really the key thing.
Yeah, it was
Tony Hawk.
Big time down in the 90s was all that extreme sports. And Tony Hawk's another franchise, but I don't want to cut you off with your cool.
No, but Tony Hawk isn't PlayStation. It came out on N64 and Dreamcast, but Cool Borders was strictly PlayStation. Only PlayStation 1. Those guys went off to do other things later in the dates, later in years. One in particular comes to mind is a couple of guys went in to make a couple of Dreamcast snowboarding games. So, that's definitely one. Cool Borders, and it ranged from Cool Borders 1, and they've did 6 games after that. So, yeah.
All right, I can't disagree there. I'm gonna go with Crash Bandicoot. God, nice. Man, that was back in the day. That was going to be the answer to Sonic and Mario. And I used to love the old commercials they had where the Bandicoot would be out yelling at Mario and the Mario headquarters. Nintendo headquarters.
Hey, plumber boy, mustache man, your worst nightmare has arrived.
Pack up your stuff. I got a little surprise for you here.
Check it out. What do you think about that? We got real-time, 3D, lush organic environments. How's that make you feel, buddy?
Feel a little like your days are numbered?
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
You're hurting my elbow.
Is that Italian?
No, Bandicoot is an Australian name.
They really had a good thing going, and then after the PlayStation 1, it kind of died off. There are Crash games still, and they did make more, but its most impactful franchise series time was during the PS1 days.
Well, and that's with Crash, Naughty Dog created that game, and Naughty Dog went on to make some of the biggest franchises for PlayStation in later years, right?
That's true.
So yeah, 100%. Now it's owned by Activision, which is soon to be owned by Xbox. So it's just full circle.
What isn't
man.
these days, man?
We're full circle. Next for me is Twisted Metal, and I just say Twisted Metal really took off on the PlayStation 1. It did have a PS2 and a PS3 release, but they only released one or two of them. Actually, one on PS2, maybe two on PS2. But anyways, only a couple on the systems after that.
Sweet Tooth, baby, all the way.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth, and now they're going to make a Twisted Metal TV show, or they are making a Twisted Metal TV show. So there's that. Maybe that means it's going to come back.
Oh, it will. It has to if they're doing that.
I'm down for a demolition style survival car game. Vigilante 8, Star Wars
I
Demolition.
forgot all about that game.
Twisted Metal. Just any of those games.
Destruction Derby, man. That was like one of my launch games I bought, or around the beginning anyway, with the PS1. Didn't have a lot to pick from, but
yeah, that's true.
So, all right, I'll go with
what number is that? That's number 3, I guess.
So I did Resident Evil, then you did Cool Borders, then I did
Crash 4. Oh,
Crash.
Well, maybe we might hit 10. So we might hit 10 here. But as we're reading them off here, go ahead, Steve. What's your next one?
Tomb Raider. So this one's a little iffy because PS1. It wasn't only on PS1. It started on PS1, if I recall right, but it was also on other platforms. But really, where I played it was the PlayStation 1 and then later the Xbox, because I love the franchise and series. But Tomb Raider was just awesome game, and she had those triangle boobs. You know, it was like really out of proportion, this lady, Lara Croft, and that. But really, where I played it and loved it was on the PS1 first.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I would say that's kind of a honorary mention, but it's
kind of what I was thinking too, simply because it's on other platforms. But
yeah, it is what it is. The other one that came to mind, I mean, Gran Turismo. As we just received Gran Turismo 7 on the PS5 just a few months back, but Gran Turismo 1 and 2 were released on the PlayStation. I didn't get to play Gran Turismo 2 until I bought a Beep disc for my Dreamcast that could play PlayStation 1 games. And that went away real quick after Sony put that to bed. But it was a Beep.
Did you say Bleem?
Beepcast.
Or Beepcast. Oh, Beepcast.
Beep. Yeah, Beepcast. There's Beep, B-E-E-P, or Bleepcast. Actually, I have to look
Bleep,
that up
wasn't
now.
it?
Bleep.
I totally forgot about this.
Let's see. Oh no, Bleemcast.
Bleem. Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah, that makes sense.
Bleemcast. So that's where I played my first PlayStation game that I owned on my Dreamcast.
That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah. All right. Final Fantasy, baby.
An evil empire is sucking the life force from the planet, destroying all that's in its path. It's up to one soldier of fortune to save the world. If he succeeds, you survive. If he fails, you can always hit the reset button. Final Fantasy VII.
PlayStation. You gotta have that one in there.
Yes.
It was so just Sony back in the day. And yeah,
I mean,
me,
it was definitely Nintendo first, but as soon as it jumped over to PlayStation or to Sony, it
didn't really have a choice for the size of the game back then, because they needed the optical media more than cartridge storage at the time. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII and Tactics were the two for me that I played the most on that. But
yeah. I mean, you went up to 9 on the PlayStation 1, right? So 7, 8, 9 was there. Tactics and Anthology was on there too, and there's a couple others. Metal Gear Solid.
The critics agree Metal Gear Solid is an absolute masterpiece. Games just don't look any better than this. The best reason yet to own a PlayStation. Metal Gear Solid by Konami.
PlayStation.
As another one.
So this is
that,
I was thinking of this one, but I wasn't sure really if it fits on a PlayStation 1 because there were so many games on the PlayStation 2 with Metal Gear, like Snake Eater and things like that. But
right,
it started on PS1.
Really, yeah, so it really started on PS. But
it was on Nintendo actually before.
Metal Gear, Metal Gear was on Nintendo, and the Metal Gear Solid, the Solid storyline.
That's where the game got really good, though. Like you could actually,
exactly.
It was much more playable.
Yeah. Trying to think what else we had on there, but I mean, Metal Gear is Solid, exactly, and it pretty much stayed there. They did the remake on the GameCube later in time, but more or less stayed on PlayStation. Up until the most recent release.
Yeah, there's one there. I was thinking of fighting Tekken.
Yes,
Tekken was really big back then. Very much PS1.
Still is.
Yeah.
Yep. Still is. They just actually today, the 13th of September, they showed the trailer for Tekken 8 on the PlayStation. The Play. What do you call it? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. But their video, their
PlayStation Now today or whatever it was.
Yeah, the direct. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank?
I was even watching some of the videos. I can't say
it. Me too. Oh goodness. Anywho, State of Play. There we go. Woof. Right over my head. Yeah. So, Steve, is there anything else that comes to mind for your PlayStation 1 games?
Maybe one more. Silent Hill, maybe.
Play Silent Hill. You may never leave your room again for PlayStation from Konami.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's a good call. It's a good call. Kind of went in with the Resident Evil to go compete against Resident Evil. Aren't they both made by Capcom though? Anyways, Capcom competes against themselves all the time.
Yeah, you're really dating yourself there, man.
But good call, Steve. I mean, hey, anyone else? If there's any other games that we totally missed that were only on PlayStation 1 or started on PlayStation 1?
Franchise, though. We're not just talking about good games.
Franchises, games, no, but franchises that kept going. We had more than 2 sequels. Throw it in the comments and let us know. We appreciate it. And Steve, I think that was pretty much it. Like we said, it's been a while since we were able to get an episode together and us to get together and chat. So
short and sweet, baby.
Top 8, maybe. I think it was 9. We'll count after and let you know.
Our top. We'll just call it our top PS1 franchise games.
Yeah, perfect.
What the heck?
Perfect. Yeah. Right on, Steve. As always,
keep collecting,
keep gaming,
and keep
safe. Dink.
Like to be humiliated by women. Here's your dream date. You are not ready.